ஓமெனும் பிரணவத்தின் உட்பொருளானவனே ஓம்காரநாதமயமான ஜெகதீஸ்வரனே மலர்த்தாவும் வண்டுகள் பண்பாடும் புலர்காலையில் மலர் தூவி வணங்குகிறோம்.
In the southeast of India, near the town of Tiruvanamalai, lies an ancient mountain called Arunachala. Traditionally regarded as a manifestation of the Hindu god Shiva, Arunachala has been famous as a pilgrimage site for more than 1,000 years. In 1975, an Australian woman, Apeetha Arunagiri, first came to the mountain.
When I was in my teens, I saw a photograph of the hill in Ramana and then read what Ramana's basic teaching is, to inquire who it is that asks the question or who it is that's here. Self-inquiry. So there was a wish to come here long before I was able to come. Later I had an opportunity to study on a travelling fellowship in Europe. I came here on my way because my professor had been born in India and he was sympathetic to my visiting the hill.
After completing her studies, Apeetha returned to the mountain and for the next 30 years dedicated her life to reforesting Arunachala.
நாகாபரணம் தரித்த நமச்சிவாய குருநாதனே நர்த்தனம் புரிந்திடவே அருணாச்சலனே எழுந்தருள்வாய்.
When I first came, I noticed the scandal of a denuded hill, and I also noticed a very, very, very healthy human situation. The urban population was small. There was much, much less wastage of water. Until my daughter was 4, which would be about 13 years after I came, you could swim in all the theatrums all around the hill. You could walk around the hill and swim 6 times in one night. And all the irrigation wells in the fields had water through summer.
By the mid-80s, there was a noticeable change.
A lot of the wells and tanks we knew were always dry in summer, or so low you couldn't get to the water in the irrigation wells.
Using environmental theatre to educate, Apeetha began a local reforestation movement.
We did a lot of puppet theatre. We had one great big show that was about the hill, what it was like previously, what it will be like. We used to put this in villages and in schools, in the ashram, like that.
In 1985, Apeetha helped found the Annamalai Reforestation Society. Over the next 15 years, with the assistance of the Rainforest Information Centre, large areas of the mountain were reforested. This work continues. In January 2001, returning to her original grassroots approach, Apeetha began moves to form a new village and community-based reforestation project.
It needed to be a small project, an autonomous project. The workers are learning to make decisions and learning to take responsibility and learning to communicate about their work. The more the work enhances their own life, the more that feeds back into the project.
The first thing needed was land.
We had to get permission to plant on reserve forest. I went to the principal chief conservator in Chennai and he gave me a piece of paper that said that he gave us permission to set up a village forest committee.
In April 2002, the Arunachala Village Forest Plantation was formed, with the aim of reforesting 600 hectares of northwest Arunachala. 12 local villages are employed, all of them sharing in the work, planning and management of the project. Like most work in India, the labour is done primarily by hand. Water distribution and conservation is all important. In acknowledgement of the increase in wildlife that reforestation will bring, one of the first tasks attempted was to build a water catchment basin for the rare langur monkeys that are returning with the forest. While constructing a thorn hedge to thwart cattle and goats, the workers uncovered a rustic old shrine dedicated to the protector of fields and forests. This space has been cleared and planted now, and the sacred stones honoured again.
Because it was summer, we started thinking about how we can bank the water up, and thinking of planting only there and then next year there and then next year there, like this, not covering like a machine, a big area with pits and then sticking trees. So we had the beginning stone lines. When the rains came, when we saw where the water would run actually and where it would be better to run, they moved really big stones, bulking it back up.
ஜகம் போற்றும் ஜெகதீஷா அருணாச்சலனே எழுந்தருள்வாய். பன்னிரு திருமுறைகளுள் மும்பூன்றினை பாடிய திருஞான சம்பந்தருக்கு அருள் புரிந்த ஈசனே, என்னிரு கரம் கூப்பி உனை தொழுதேன் வெண்ணீரணிந்த மேனியனே உந்திரு விழிமல.
Clearing the land prior to planting is a long and labour-intensive process, as is the collection and preparation of seed stocks for the nursery. Every year in summer, Arunachala burns. With the purchase of firefighting equipment, the village foresters are now able to protect the plantation.
அருணாச்சலனே எழுந்தருள்வாய். ஐந்து திருமுகத்தினின்று ஆகமங்கள் 28 உருவாகி ஆறுமுகப் பெருமானால் விருதாச்சலத்தில்.
Such unending sun-drenched work called for the construction of several shelters. For an occasional well-earned rest.
பற்றல்ல ஒரு பற்று மற்றிலையே எனும் அப்பர் பாடலின் அற்புத பொருள்கள்.
So we started a little nursery up there, and then we were able to take big saplings from the forestry and put them in. Planting time, trees going in, that was the best part. Then our work is about water, but getting the trees in, and when the rains come, seeing what things sprout up that we weren't sure would live, that gives the most effective aspirational satisfaction in what the work's about.
In a few short years, the Arunachala Village Forest Plantation has achieved a lot. But both Apeetha and the villagers see the work as having only just begun, and they are keenly aware of the need to continue with the greening of the mountain.
The water table is now going from grey to black. Black is desert in the designation in the official records. Unlikely to be drinkable within 5 years. The urban population is growing enormously. We're missing an opportunity here to have an extremely healthy ecosystem because the hill is a potential sponge. And if the forest grew on the hill, if we covered the hill now with trees, in 15 years the water table, the effect on the water table would be noticeable.
இங்கே வந்தால் நல்லா செடிலாம் உயரமாச்சுன்னா நல்லா பிக் சைஸ் மரம் இருந்துச்சுன்னா நல்லா ரெயின் கம்மி காற்று கம்மி ரெயின் கம்மி நல்லா இருக்கும் காடு அதனால தான் செடி வளர்க்க வந்துடுறோம்.
The greening of Arunachala is in progress now. The government is involved, a greening society has been formed by local urban residents, and a change of attitude is growing amongst inhabitants generally. This small village project is a significant part of the empowerment required for this regeneration to be sustained. Please help the work to continue.
பற்றல்ல ஒரு பற்று மற்றிலையே எனும் அப்பர் பாடலின் அற்புத பொருளறிந்தேன் சுற்றம் மறந்தேன் சிற்றம்பலமே சற்றே மனம் இறங்கி எனக்கருள்வாய் அருணாச்சலனே எழுந்தருள்வாய் பொய்மாய பெருங்கடல் கடக்க மெய்ஞானமெனும் படகினை தந்து